Gonna be the whole episode.
Oh God. It's upside down. It's weird. Huh? It's in the way. I can't see. Should've known put batteries in that thing.
Come on, man. I can't see what I'm doing.
You ever get that?
What?
There's a spot on my arm.
Go on.
Right there. In my neck. If I itch right here, just right, I got a stinging sensation in the back of my neck. It's always been that way. I don't know what to tell
You're
you.
wired strange. If I touch the back of my
That's
knee,
why I don't like people touching my shoulders. It's wired directly to my penis.
If I touch the back of my knee, I shit my pants.
That's why I don't like when dudes touch my shoulders. It's wired to my penis. Don't touch me. Oh!
It's stress relief from your Elden Ring stress.
Yeah.
Every time we play online,
Oh,
this is the constant sound effect that he'll make about every 5 minutes or so. That's it, right? And he knows because I didn't even have to say it.
I can't help it, dude. It's that or I get pissed off.
Well, you do that anyway. It's about 5 minutes later.
Oh, fucking stupid tree guardians.
Tree Guardians.
The weird things that are at the basis of the earth.
Oh, the avatars?
Yeah, the
Those
avatars.
giant, the mini giant trees.
Man.
Yeah, the mini trees with legs. And they got the staffs. And they got the little orb things, a whole bunch, and they just shoot at you.
Yep, they like to put it inside of you.
Why did he face the ones that
Wait,
when they
are we
double
playing the
up?
same game?
Yeah, no.
Go. Oh, video games.
It's everywhere.
So what's up, dude? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's
It's been a couple weeks. since we
Easter
did
last week.
it. Yeah, we took the.
Yeah, I just took the weekend off just because I just didn't. Too busy with Easter, trying to get ready. So we had a dinner here in the compound here. So,
Yeah, the compound.
Yeah. So I was like, there's too much preparing for that, so I just opted not to do any show.
Compound. Isn't that like a complex, like a facility?
Yeah, this is a facility. We facilitate.
Okay, I guess that makes sense when you put it like that.
Yeah, I like to put it places.
I don't want to talk about it. So we got Rich today. We got Rich.
Yeah, he actually joined.
Yes.
Reasonable Rich, actually, I mean, he's we talked about him on shows before. He's probably the most Souls-oriented anyway.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
big-time
definitely.
RPG player as well, but definitely the biggest Souls player of all of us. He joined with us today, and that was interesting. It still aggravates me. I wanted that freaking invader, that second invader.
Oh.
The first one was kind of dopey. The second one was smart, just kind of playing it on the outside. But I was like, man, I want to.
And then he still got it and was able to kill us.
Wanted to
I don't
face
understand why the fucking death bird wouldn't fight him.
because they're just locked on us. I think that the bird's probably locked on the host the most.
Ghost with the most. Beetlejuice.
Yeah, so that was fun, interesting. What was it? The Black Blade Gargoyle or something like that?
Yeah.
It's up
I
by
got the I got the gargoyle blade and the gargoyle halberd out
the
of it.
Bestial Sanctum. Let me tell you
Which
what.
is weird.
That guy's a prick. It's Elden Ring, for anyone that doesn't know.
He doesn't fight me.
He's an asshole.
He doesn't fight me.
He doesn't have to. All he does is shout. And the sound waves
The
go
Death
out.
Bird?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy in the sanctum.
Oh, you're not there yet. You have to give him Death Root like
I gave him one.
4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you'll go. That's where Rich is at right now. You'll just appear there, and he'll just attack you. Like, what is this?
Why? You help him.
Wait,
Oh, loser.
Yeah, but I told Rich, like, you just knock his health down like a quarter, and he'll stop. And I'm sorry. Like, what the hell is that about?
No.
That's basically what it is.
No.
Like a dog. Knock it off. He'll rub his face in it.
Okay.
Bad. Go in there with a newspaper. That should be a weapon in there.
Oh.
Make a newspaper.
You got the bouquet of flowers.
I do. I got the bouquet of flowers. Now I'm on a weapon hunt because stupid Millennia or whatever her name is. That's broken. She heals herself.
Oh, God.
You can't, even from across the way. She just swings her sword and her health goes up. Like, what is that? She hit your spirit summons, her health goes up. She hits you, her health goes up. This is the second phase. I can torture her in the first phase. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, now we're OP. We go from like difficulty level 5 out of 10 to 30 out of 10. Like, yeah.
That's way off the scale.
So,
She must be strong.
she has too many midichlorians.
You were the chosen one. You were supposed to bring balance to the Force.
And
not ruin it, destroy it.
She inflicts scarlet rot, which is just dandy. So not only are you trying to worry about her dancing foul, stupid fucking twisty turny sword attack, which will one shot you. But then you're like, she turns into a flower and flies herself at you, which will inflict scarlet rot, which is just a hassle.
You know how to get rid of those flowers. You pluck their fucking petals.
I just used,
Blink.
yeah. Yeah, so she's a wench. She is. That's her.
Sure, I was talking about her.
I'm sorry.
You talked about her, not me. I haven't met you yet.
So she's bugged right now. So right now I'm just searching for weapons that I don't have.
Idly by.
Drives me nuts. I almost beat her last night, even with the bug, but whatever. What have you?
Is that her? Sounds like an adult up there.
Oh no. It's okay. She'll just heal herself. She's healing herself right now. Not even, the game's not even on. She's currently healing herself.
She's getting ready for the next 20 tries.
It's just stupid.
Bitch.
Oh. I guess even that like legendary player, the Let Me Solo Her player, the naked guy, the double katanas.
Yeah.
But I guess he's even having problems with her now. I was like, well, yeah, because it's just broken. It's like a modder in GTA 5. Like, there's
God.
What is this? You shoot like explosive rounds at them, and they just run right through it. Like, okay, whatever.
Not cool, man.
Whatever.
Not cool.
But in lesser news, mask mandates might be brought back to New York.
Oh, sorry. I did not hear anything about that.
No.
Since when?
Well, there's been a surge for this another new variant, of course. The CDC now urges masks in 23 New York counties due to high COVID levels. I get the list. Albany County, Broome, Cuyahoga, Clinton, Erie, Herkimer, Madison, Monroe, Niagara, Oneida, Onondaga, Ontario,
Well, it's
Orleans.
alphabetical, so I don't care about the rest because you didn't say Montgomery.
No, but it is around Montgomery.
Yeah.
That way, mostly. Oswego,
Well, Albany County
Rensselaer,
is
Schuyler.
that way. If we're here, Albany County's this way. Herkimer County's this way.
Herkimer, Albany. Well, Albany.
Yeah, more in the middle.
And then
basically.
it literally, if you look at the map, it's like around us.
Oh, not too much to the south.
It's just around us. Somehow it's in
the city is affected.
Yeah,
you see that?
It's in the Adirondack. Oh no, it is. There's red down there, in like the upper boroughs.
Yeah. City, you suck.
It's it's like all around us. But we've been talking about it at work, and we're like, don't be surprised if we get back from vacation and they just
Jump on the bandwagon?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
It's not Montgomery County, but which is going to piss
Wagon
a lot
to
of people
ride
off.
on or a dick to suck on. Jesus Christ.
It's a
our
good thing that
governor's
I work
awesome.
outside most of the time.
Yeah.
So
Our governor sucks.
the politics in New York State suck. It's a shame because the scenery is really nice.
I know.
Yeah.
At least something pretty to look at while you're getting fucked.
On the flip side, though, you see that the airlines and whatnot, they don't have to do any kind of mask mandate or anything. There's nothing in them now. And uncut.
And action.
And we're back. I had to cut out a lot of that because it was a
Personal.
personal.
Private.
Yeah.
Personal.
Well, it was HIPAA violation. It would have been.
That HIPAA never knew it had it coming.
It was quite the violation.
Hippo. Is that what a female hippo was called?
What were we
Hippo?
talking about? Oh yeah. Oh, airplanes. There's no longer a mandate through airplanes on for a mask mandate on airplanes, so you
Good.
don't have to have anything now. Which that's pissing off a minority of people, but of course,
I'm afraid to get herpes in the air.
even though
Wear your mask, bitch. What?
even though there's been people that have gone, sat down, and be like, "This person's not wearing a mask," to like the pilot or something. The pilot's like, "What do you want me to do?"
That's it.
I'm
turning this plane around.
Yeah, but like, you want me to ground it? I'm over top of the Appalachian Trail. Like, what do you want me to do?
Fucking put it on or I'm coming back there and beating your ass.
Take the wheel.
But dude, that's it. Fuck this shit.
Wow, what are you doing? The co-pilot's like, wow. It's like the mom in the car.
I'm no good at this.
Pilot puts their foot up on the dash thing and like knocks the plane into a nosedive. Like, what are you doing?
You fuckers stay.
Shut the fuck
Keep misbehaving.
up.
I got you. You gonna keep it down back there? We're sorry. I thought so.
Pump the brakes, air brakes. Yeah.
Brake check.
What happens if we drop 100 feet suddenly? Whoa! Whoa!
Brake check. I see one of you fuckers sleeping back there. I'm gonna brake check the shit out of this
See,
plane.
that's the reason why no one wants to fly, and that's the exact reason why I
the
do want to
pilots
fly.
like It's a good thing we're not pilots.
We're heading airplane. You know, it doesn't take much to get your pilot license.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't really. We should do that.
I would
that should be
love to.
That should be a side project. We should like.
Oh, up in Fultonville, Fulton County, or yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Found a Fultonville.
So we should get our pilot license. Be like, let's go fly,
Dude, you only need like
It's like
100 hours.
Yeah, it was like 80 or 100 hours, something like that.
of flight time,
Oh,
and
yeah.
each session, it's expensive, but it's like $100 a session, $150 a session, and you fly for an hour. After the training, of course.
Yeah, it's like 10 grand, and
No, it's actually not that bad. How much to get your pilot's license?
100 hours, and it's like $100 a session. A
It's
session is
1,000.
how long?
An hour.
100 hours. 100 hours, $100 an hour, which would be 10 grand.
Oh yeah.
A couple mathematicians here.
Yeah.
No, it's only like $200 or something, or maybe 1,000, or maybe 50. I don't know,
I
whatever.
don't remember.
Double
I
it
don't remember the numbers being that big though.
and cut it in half.
But
Well, maybe the price is wrong, or the hours are wrong. Maybe it's like each session is 50 hours.
let's find out. I'll see you guys in 4 days.
Oh, can we go down? Nope.
Hours
Gotta complete each session. I gotta pee.
Your
That's what a catheter's for. I should have grabbed one at the airport.
license.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, 40 hours.
40? Oh, that's not bad.
40 hours. That's not bad.
It was $4,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still
You need
pretty
50
penny, but
You need 15.
that's got to be cheaper than your Class A.
No, it was more expensive actually.
Didn't you only pay like 2 or 24 or 20?
25.
Yeah. So it's cheaper.
$4,000.
See, I told you a couple mathematicians.
40 hours at $100 an hour. That's $4,000. It costs more to get your pilot's license.
Yeah.
So getting my CDL was cheaper.
No, it was a school where they guarantee work or something, right?
Yeah, if you went up, but then it wouldn't have cost me any money. They would have guaranteed me a job for like the $10,000 package.
Oh, what do they dox your pay or something like that?
No, you just sign a contract with a company.
Oh, for like
and
2 years or something?
Yeah, and they pay it back.
I see.
So,
Whatever. Yeah, so let's get our pilot license, everyone. Everyone, let's get well, that might make it looks like a terrorist organization.
We
or
should start
something.
a go. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just start a GoFundMe for it.
You know, you could. I mean, people have GoFundMes out there.
We'll go
for
Saturdays.
Stupid shit.
We'll do every Saturday.
Let's look into that.
I'm actually dead fucking serious.
Just for shits and giggles. If there's anybody out there, I'm gonna clip this section too for
please.
TikTok. If there's anybody out there, we'll set up a GoFundMe to get our pilot's license,
and then we will personally fly to your place and shoot a podcast.
Where are you, Indiana? We got a single engine plane. It'll make it.
I'm in Alaska. Well, we'll pay for the fuel.
Oh,
but...
please tell me you're in Hope. Or like all the UFO sightings and everything.
Oh, okay. The fourth kind. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was Hope, Alaska.
Yeah, something like that. Dude, that's serious.
Yes.
Fucking
So
serious.
we'll get our pilot license and we'll kind of fly around and drop. It'd be like GTA. We'll drop flyers for the podcast over different sections, different cities. We might.
It'll be a repeat of.
We got to do the club promotion.
It'll be a repeat of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force scare. Remember that?
No.
The Aqua Teen Hunger Force film for theaters was what the movie was called. Aqua Teen Hunger Force put out a notice. Hey, put out the advertisement, the trailer. Hey, we're doing a movie. Well, they went to certain areas and put up meatwad signs that illuminated, and they had a countdown. And somebody called it a bomb thing because it looked like it was a countdown to a bomb exploding.
Yeah. With eyeballs like
meatwad.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. Let's not use any round-ish looking.
We'll just drop flyers. This podcast is the bomb. Wink, wink. Countdown to when we come to you.
What the hell?
Someone's gonna explode on me.
Yeah, we know. We know marketing. We're
anything
good at
for the podcast,
right?
I guess.
Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. So
question for you, and we'll have to determine if you have to edit this out after.
Oh God.
What would you do if you slept with a woman?
Period.
And found out after that she used to be a man. What would you do?
Interesting question. So let's going on the assumption that they've had the full transition.
Yeah.
What would you do? Or what would I do specifically?
Better yet, how about you find out during?
I think that would be a stop, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that just be a like, wait a minute.
I'm not gonna lie. If I've gotten to that point, under the assumption that everything looks legit.
Whatever, I'm pseudo-gay. I don't care.
It's like, we don't have to talk about this after, do we?
Just don't look at my eyes.
You're gonna make me a sandwich at least when we're done.
Just don't even look at
No,
my
you're
eyes.
making my sandwich. Shit.
Only if it's bologna.
Edit this out.
I have a salami. No, this is going to be clipped too.
Well, because in the media and everything, it's fun because this is what we were talking about. You know, this is one of the things you talked about. We were going to talk about on this podcast. This was one of the things you had mentioned we were going to discuss on the podcast about the media and false.
Oh, lying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, have you seen the advertisements for all the woman empowerment things now?
No.
It's passive aggressive digs at the transgender community.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's a Hulu commercial where women in sports had to fight for their right. Go women, that they can do whatever men can do. But it doesn't show any transgender. There's no wordage towards transgender.
Yeah, but
it's a very blanket statement to cover the female gender.
Right. Is that a jab at trans or is
I
that
don't think
inclusion?
No, I don't see it as inclusion because even you know how there's that medication for men, gay men, straight men, whatever you may be, that you could take to prevent you contracting AIDS. It's like
Cyanide?
No,
I think that was
Destravy or something like that is what it's called. It's
Maybe,
basically it's like taking a baby aspirin. Mm-hmm. We take a baby aspirin to prevent heart attack at old age. And
wait. No, you're not a doctor, but are you telling the audience that if you take aspirin, you won't get AIDS? Is that what you're implying right now?
No.
Just out of curiosity.
No.
Is that where we've gotten? This is where we are now as a society. Is like, listen, and talk about the media lying. Aspirin helps with AIDS. I was like, no, I'll believe it.
So they tell you to take a baby aspirin to help
Dan Rather told me? It's got to be fucking true.
Allison Cooper's always right. No, so when the men take this pill that will help them prevent contracting AIDS.
Right.
So in the advertisement, it says this pill is not meant for those who were what's the word? It's a D word.
Those who
designated, just designated, not designated female. Oh my God, Loading. Loading.
This is what we call
Genetic
dead air.
Whatever.
That's
if you were designated female at birth, this pill is not meant for you. They even have that as a list of, in the disclaimer, this pill may not be for everybody. This pill is not for those who are designated female at birth.
Wait, do you mean someone who was born a male?
No.
And someone who is actually a female?
Someone who was born female but had the gender transformation surgery, the gender...
Oh, okay. I understand. So it's for males.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I
you have to be born a male in order for it to work. If you're a male and become a female...
When are they going to complain about that? When's it going to be like this?
I know. That's exactly what I said. I'm like, oh, well, this pill ain't meant for women? Or, I mean, men? I'm a man. Were you born a man? I'm a man. Were you born a man?
It's like, that pill's prejudice. Like, what about the people that made it? It's like, no, the pill is prejudice. Yeah, so that would be the next. That would be the next movement, and be like, well,
I don't think it was.
Does that mean
the Hulu advertisement for women's rights and women in sports? I don't think that was necessarily a jab.
Yeah, but go ahead.
As much as it was, well, women should be competing with women. And it just so happened, I saw that advertisement when I was watching the episode of Futurama where Bender became a woman to compete in the robot games in the female division.
Isn't it funny how all these cartoons like predict a lot of these? Isn't Hulu owned by Disney?
I don't know if they're owned by Disney, but they're like in bed with each other.
It's weird.
Hulu. And it's funny too because the best line of that episode.
Yeah, owner Walt Disney Company. So
if only Calculon and I could find a couple of female robots, take them to Vegas, and then his antenna pops up, take them to Vegas and void their warranties all night long. Woohoo! Yay, my buddy's back. And his respect for women is back to normal. I fucking love that show.
I love Bender. Hulu is owned by Disney, and Disney's like in this huge woke thing right now, and we'll get into that in a little bit, that whole spiel. But so Hulu's putting out this commercial that are basically taking a dig at trans, if that's the way it's perceived.
At least that's...
But at the same time, Disney is super woke right now, which doesn't fucking make any sense. Why would they let Hulu, who is this like company, the whatever?
Because how many people know Hulu is owned by Disney?
A lot.
It's a logo.
But a lot. Disney fucking owns everything.
They don't own me, that I know of.
Oh, they do.
See you later.
See?
Oh, boy.
But that just seems really counterproductive for Disney standards anyway, or Disney's standpoint. And so they have Hulu putting out...
hold on. Is it really counterproductive, or is it smart advertising?
Well, as I was saying that, and right before you said that, I'm like, or that could be brilliant, because they have one company that's like, hey, right-wing people, and then the other company's like, hey, left-wing people, even though I went, yeah. So
they're playing the neutral.
Yeah, and especially right now, because I brought up a little bit ago was the whole Disney thing, and you see they lost their ability to be tax-free in Florida.
Yeah.
They're basically their own governing state, which brings up a lot of things, like because I guess they were in their own governing state, they didn't have to go by building code and like the normal building codes. So people are like, what if they go in there and there's a lot of buildings that are out of code, but they can't say anything, because then they'll be like, well, this has been standing for X amount of years, so it's grandfathered in. Like,
yep.
So you go in and like then they finally turn the lights on in Space Mountain. You walk around and be like, there's a lot of fucking duct tape. No wonder why when you ride that. I don't know. Have you ever been down Disney? All right. Well, Space Mountain, last time I was there was like 2000, like 1995 or something. And even I remember being on that ride, and it was an indoor roller coaster for anybody that for whatever reason doesn't know, and it's in the dark. But it's like an old rickety roller coaster.
Oh,
it's like the Screaming Demon up at fucking...
The Comet.
Or the Comet, yeah.
The Comet.
Up at Great Escape. And like you go on that, and when you get off, you're like, I don't know if I should file suit, because you're like...
Somebody always gets up out of the car.
My back!
Damn, that ride hurts, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, and like every time you go around a turn, you're just watching it, and you watch people go around turns, you see like the fucking dust and everything come off.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think that's safe.
Speaking of crazy shit, Justice for Johnny. You hear about that?
No.
Johnny Depp.
Oh yes.
Justice for Johnny, they're calling it.
I know very little about the whole thing, other than like she evidently was abusing him.
Oh, dude, I know a lot.
All right, well, go on. But I did see it's been streamed on YouTube and TikTok Live, and I've kind of like tuned in here and there looking at it. But from what I gather, before you go on and kind of explain it,
yeah,
Johnny Depp was in an abuse, and this has been like documented over the last couple of years. Before all this, he was in an abusive relationship with this Heather or
Amber Heard.
Yeah, Amber Heard. Like where he was being punched and like kicked around and whatever,
Oh, she was beating the shit out of him.
Insert abusive traits here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people before all this were like, hey, Johnny, you're getting fucked up. Why are you taking it all? And good question. But much like the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith thing, it's like you're in a toxic relationship like that. A lot of times people don't even fucking realize it until way late.
Oh, yeah.
Or they just, I don't want to say they think it's a normal thing, but they either, maybe it'll get better or maybe whatever.
Munchausen syndrome, I think is what it's called.
It's where you try to justify everything.
No, it's not so much where you try to justify. It's where you're broken down mentally to a point where you are convinced, you are brainwashed into thinking. You are brainwashed.
It's my fault or something like that?
No, you are brainwashed into thinking where you are genuinely brainwashed into thinking that is the way it has to be because that's all you can get.
Right. That too. I mean, everything we just spewed out there is a possibility, but whatever it may be, that's about what I know of it. And I've just watched little things here and there and little snippets of like the I wanted to pay more attention to it, but I'm like, I don't know how long this fucking thing's going to go. And I remember watching the Kyle Rittenhouse the trial. Like I watched that from start to finish and like, that's a lot. Yeah. That was entertaining though, just because the prosecutor was so fucking clueless and everything. I'm like, this is like a soap opera. But go ahead, fill me in.
Well, I can't fill you in too much. Now, so back in 2014 to 2016, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard got married in 2014 to 2016. They filed for divorce, and in 2000, something like that. So. Moving forward, she went after him because she wanted.
This was after the divorce?
Oh, all this happened during the
whole time. Okay.
And then after he filed for divorce, she went after him for money, and all of a sudden, all this shit came to light because she was nothing without him. She only had a name because of him.
Because of beating on Captain Jack Sparrow or what?
You wonder why he was so crazy.
I'm going to beat up the captain and take the Black Pearl.
So there's a bunch of video, audio, and picture evidence of the abuse. And
they had a stenographer like, what'd you say?
There's a lot of evidence. There's overwhelming evidence that supports Johnny Depp's claim that she abused him because she went after him saying he was abusing her. As a matter of fact, the biggest thing that's been going on is the Amber Heard's attorneys go, this is the concealer that she carried around the entire time of their marriage to hide the bruises. The makeup company literally went on public record and say, that is false. We did not release that makeup line until 2017.
Damn it.
So she's fucked.
I mean,
but the thing is,
this is the concealer.
But so it's funny too because just like the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, I'm watching the Amber Heard's attorneys ask him questions. He goes, "Well, yeah, that's my signature." Well, is this your signature on the page? That's the same page you asked me before, right? Yeah, he goes, then yeah, it's my signature. Well, you signed this, isn't it? Like literally in the course of like a 5 or 10 minute string of questioning, he asked him 3 times about if it's his signature on the same piece of paper. He goes,
for what? Signature for?
I forgot what it was for, but it was in some sort of agreement form.
All right.
In regards to the going on between Amber
them separating
and
or something.
I don't remember specifically, but.
So really basic from what I'm gathering from what you're telling me it sounds like the prosecutor is trying to get Depp to slip up so he has something.
Oh yeah,
because same thing that happened with the Jussie Smollett case, same thing that happened with the Kyle Rittenhouse case.
Yep.
Where the prosecutor and all of them, or defense in Smollett's case, knows that I have fucking nothing to work with. So I was like, we need something.
Well, there's a lot of testimony, a lot of stuff coming out about what was going on, and every day it's something new about Amber Heard's case being like less and less and less and less. Mm-hmm. And the reason I bring it up and talking about it as much as I have is because Disney and the world of Harry Potter, Universal Studios, Warner Brothers, when this all first came out, the media spun it that Johnny Depp was beating the shit out of her bad. And he lost everything.
But that was short-lived, wasn't it? Like
very short-lived.
It was only for like a month or so.
Johnny Depp was coming out and saying, no, this isn't the truth. Here's all my proof. And that's when she went after him, and that's where it is today. Because now Amber Heard, she was in the first Aquaman. She's got to be in the second one. She already signed the contract. Can you imagine how that's going to go?
If this trial finishes, which I'm sure it is, before Aquaman 2 comes out, and it comes out to where like the complete opposite of what is being claimed on her end, and you were the one that's completely guilty. Never mind like what's going to happen to her, but you know what the image is going to be on DC and Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah,
it's like shit, and they're going to put that out, and that is going to affect their ticket sales.
Oh fuck yeah!
So, I mean, look what happened with nowhere near as bad, but with what's her face, Captain Marvel.
The blonde chick.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. When it came out with all her bullshit that she's like super feminist and everything, and that movie came out and it didn't flop, but it didn't do great. Just because, wow, this broad has a bad fucking attitude. Mm-hmm. And she'd be pissed if she heard me call her broad right now, but it's just...
That broad needs to make me a sandwich.
Apologies to anyone who gets offended by that.
Yeah, I know.
But that's just something I've done for fucking decades.
All jokes.
But just for that reason, that movie didn't do well. And Marvel, for the most part, out of their 20, however, 5, 6, 7, 20, however many films now, 30, most of them have been a home run. And there's a few every now and then, like Thor Dark World, that was just not great.
Oh, let me ask your opinion on something. You seen the trailer for Thor, Love and Thunder? Mm-hmm. Are you did you catch something in that trailer?
He's not gay.
So you know what part I'm talking about. Yeah. No, I don't think they're trying to point at him being gay. I think they're trying to point at him being bisexual.
Either way, I don't think he's going to do that. Because they've had this long-running thing with...
Deadpool.
With Jane... what's her name?
From the first Thor, yeah.
Yeah.
She becomes female Thor.
Jane, I cannot... Yeah, she'll become Thor Almighty, who's in the trailer. She's in the trailer as
She's
Thor
Almighty. She's the one with the hammer.
Yeah.
And the face is pulling back, yeah.
And the repaired Mjolnir. Like, that movie looks fucking... I cannot wait. That one and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
He's like, when you look at somebody you love, and he's like...
Yeah! Well, me and Rich talked about that.
Star-Lord is like, not me! Oh, okay.
Me and Rich talked about that at the gym yesterday. It's like, look at somebody you love. It's look at somebody you love in their eyes. And like slowly into the...
And Thor just keeps following. Like,
anyone has probably already seen the trailer, but you just slowly in the frame sees like, not me. It's like, oh.
I'm telling you.
Those two movies, though, I cannot
something about
wait.
that bit. I don't know.
It's, it wouldn't surprise me. Let's say it does go down that road.
Why?
Because Disney.
It doesn't have to. Deadpool.
Because Disney.
Go back and read the comics.
Because Disney.
Deadpool always had a thing for Spider-Man, which raises a lot of questions because Peter Parker's a teenage boy. Wade Wilson had a thing for him. I know. Come on, you remember.
But again, it's because Disney. And Disney knows that, but
oh shit! I just realized something. I haven't been speaking to them.
But
it's all right. I'm loud enough.
Yeah, but it's because it's Disney, and Disney, especially right now, like they have a handful of employees that are woke, and Disney's just bending the knee to all of them, and doing all this crazy shit, and because of that, as Ben Shapiro so elegantly put it,
Oh,
fuck around and find out. So Ron DeSantis went like, okay, you're going to push like indoctrinating all this bullshit and like the reason why DeSantis took away their ability to basically govern themselves in the state and be relatively tax-free is because Disney got behind the whole fighting against the quote "don't say gay" bill that was being pushed in Florida, and because they did that, and they were claiming, like the left, extreme left, were saying the "don't say gay" bill is saying it so you can't mention anything about homosexuality or anything in school, and teachers were like, oh, we can't talk about our personal lives. Like, that's not what it's fucking saying at all, because if you read the bill, it says it's talking specifically about not mentioning sexual identification, sexual transitioning or anything to K through third grade. Which, I don't know about you, but
I agree.
When I was in school, I didn't hear anything about my teachers' personal lives. Mostly, none of us cared. We were learning basic things, ABCs, multiplication tables, division.
The most we knew of our teachers' personal lives came from high school, when every student was talking about, oh, I live next to Mrs. So-and-so, and I've seen her through the window. She's got nice tits. Yeah, that's it.
Not even, I mean, if you even want to go back to the earlier like grades, you might see a picture on their desk of their kids or husband or something.
Who's that? My family. Oh, is that your husband?
Well, that's
my family.
Is they're saying all you have to do is like a teacher is like, oh, like they get a male teacher and it's him and his husband. It's like, who's that? It's like, oh, it's my husband. It's like, husband, it's a guy. And be like, well, it's something you have to discuss with your parents. That's not the fucking job of the teacher to discuss sexuality and stuff.
Sexual orientation,
especially from K to third grade.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
There's no reason for it. It's when you were 6th grade or 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, did you give a shit about sexual orientation? I didn't fucking care at all.
I knew what a gay person was. I didn't give two shits.
I didn't even know if I knew what a gay person was. I cared more about G.I. Joes and wrestling and fucking Street Sharks and shit like that.
Dude, there was plenty of gay couples when I was growing up. I've never seen lesbians, gays, gay men, lesbian women, couples, whatever.
Either way, whether they were there or not, like, you didn't give a shit.
No.
It didn't matter.
Because I played with Legos.
But that's why a lot of people are like, why are you indoctrinating children? And they take that. Is that an indoctrination? I don't know. It sure seems it. If you just, like...
You want to put a label on it? Hell yeah.
But yeah, so Disney went to bat and was defending, calling it a "don't say gay" bill and basically attacking that whole thing. Yeah. And then DeSantis went, okay, well, whoop.
There's your tax-free status. Gone.
Yeah. And now I guess there's rumors that Georgia and Colorado were both like, listen, Disney, if you want to bring Disney World here, because, you know, they're complete opposite end of the spectrum here. But you know how much money it would cost to move those parks? I don't know if you've ever seen the size of those fucking parks.
They're basically like the size of...
It's like...
Amsterdam.
It's like Amsterdam. It's like the fucking Vatican. It's so big.
I mean like the ground space.
It's probably bigger than Amsterdam, to be honest with you. Like 100% honest with you.
I never been.
It's probably bigger. Like you go to just Magic Kingdom, just Disney World Magic Kingdom. You probably have to stay there a week to see everything. Like the places are enormous. And then not to mention all the surrounding things around it. Your Magic Kingdom, Epcot Center, not even like the bigger things, but Epcot Center, MGM Studios, then outside of Disney, then there's Universal Studios and Busch Gardens and all this other crap. But the place is massive. So to move that big of a business, for lack of a better term, somewhere else would be in the multi-billions of dollars. It would have to be. Billions of dollars. How much do you think Disney World physically is worth? Not like talking about stocks or anything, or just like
monetary value.
Yeah, of the actual, like the property, everything on the property. It's gotta be. But now you're talking about rebuilding it, basically. I mean, you can tear some of it down, but you know Disney's not going to just like just fucking build it again.
Oh yeah, no, they wouldn't move a single thing.
But I think that would be stupid because Florida is tourist attraction. It's got to be number 1 or 2 in the country, so they're getting everybody to Florida. You go to Colorado with Aspen,
landlocked. There's nothing exciting around it.
Well, there's Aspen.
It's like a little place called
I don't know, Lloyd. The French are assholes.
Wait a minute. I know why you want to go to Aspen. Well, speaking of money and the crazy shit states are doing, you hear about New York State? The Buffalo Bills?
Going to Canada?
No, they're not.
Oh, yeah. I
Our
did hear
governor
they're not
signed
going.
the bill.
I did hear
giving them $900 million to build a new stadium. To keep them in Buffalo. Because
to keep them in Buffalo.
To keep them in New York State, basically, yeah.
It's the only actual New York team we have. It's the one team that's not called New York.
Yankees? Oh, yeah. So
Football.
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah,
NFL.
New
anyway.
York Jets.
Jets and Giants are
New York
in
Giants,
Jersey.
they're both in Jersey, yeah. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Cuomo went out, he put out a statement, I would never have signed that bill.
Oh, but he's just saying anything that wants. It's the same thing with Chris Cuomo.
He's saying whatever he can say to get people back on his side.
Yeah, on his side and just be relevant in general. But Chris Cuomo did the same thing with CNN because CNN canned him.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the whole thing, him defending his brother and all this bullshit. Chris Cuomo, in the last few weeks or last month or so, has come out and said, like, CNN is using dirty tactics and, like, not proper investigating journalism when they report on things. He's, like, shooting them, or not shooting himself in the foot, because I don't think he's going back to CNN, but then again, it's CNN, so you never know. But he's attacking CNN now, but I'm like, you were fucking doing all that while you were there. Now suddenly it's bad?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck off. So
he's trying to appeal to the right.
It's the same thing that Andrew Cuomo's doing right now. It's like, yeah, I would have signed that, right, guys? Right?
He says he wouldn't have.
Am I the good guy? Or yeah, what?
Yeah. Oh, so bullshit.
Yeah. So that's
Andrew Cuomo. You suck.
Must have run the family.
What? Sucking dick? That's why the Cuomo stayed where they were as long as they did. For sucking dick.
I'm staying on the whole politics thing. Jen Psaki breaks down during a podcast. She started crying during a podcast.
No, I didn't hear about this.
Because she was talking about she says the right is using children as weapons in the culture war. This is basically going again on the "Don't Say Gay" bill, quote unquote, and specifically talking about like trans and gay children. She starts crying, like not hysterically, but it was like crocodile tears. She talking about like the right is using children, and now I'm listening to the clip of her saying this. I'm like, fucking, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is the left doing? They're using children in the culture war. I'm like, indoctrinating kids. That's okay. That's not using children. Whether it's okay or not, that's not using children. Like it's almost like the left is looking at everyone else. They'll call it the right, but we're classic libertarian, centralist, right wing, Republican, conservative. They're looking at them all and being like, everything that we're doing, you're doing this. It's like as you're doing shit. Like what'd you say? Oh, we were talking about Jussie Smollett and like writing the check and be like, that's not my writing. It's like, but you're writing it right now.
No, I didn't.
The extreme version of I'm not touching you. It's like they're pushing you with their finger, like off a cliff. Like, I'm not touching you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Yes, you are.
Why are you jumping off this cliff? You're pushing me. No, I'm not.
So, yeah, it's so obvious. What the fuck when they say shit like this?
Because
like,
the left is losing.
You're indoctrinating children. Like, but no, you are fucking You are using children as ammunition. But don't tell them that.
Oh, hell no.
Because then you're a right-wing conspiracy theorist nut job.
Well, you know what it is, because here we are halfway through this fucking term. And
this November.
Yep.
Which I just got my voting thing in the mail.
And everything's going up the wall. Well, we got to figure out how to win them back. Guess what, left? You suck. Guess what, right? You suck.
And
guess what, everybody? You suck.
Starting to double down on this mask mandate again, right before it's almost like they want to lose.
Either that or they, you know what the tact is?
Fear-mongering?
Who's going to stand up to a person who screams, why aren't you wearing a mask, you racist? No, I'm not racist.
Those two things have nothing to do with each other. But yeah.
If they go through the mask mandate again, all the fucking sheeple are going to be like, oh, well, I got to put the mask back on because my government says it's the best thing to do. why aren't you wearing a mask? Why aren't you wearing a mask? And it's going to be another wave like that, where people are going to be afraid to say, no, we don't have to. They said we don't.
Yeah, it's just more bullshit that they're going to push.
Agenda bitches.
Speaking of agenda and pushing bullshit, and I brought this up to you like a week ago or so, the whole China videos of all the people screaming outside of their...
You mentioned something about that. I do remember.
Did you see it or anything?
No, I haven't seen them.
Fucking weirdest, most bizarre. If I can find a video, I'll send it to you later.
So,
it's literally people screaming outside their buildings and windows and shit. And I don't know if they're
chanting anything or
no, just wailing. Yeah, wailing because there's like such food shortages over there. Lockdowns again. They're in the second year of lockdowns, and they're just reinforcing everything again because it's a whole another pandemic. Basically, they're pushing over there. They had drones flying around in Mandarin saying that to repress their soul's desire for freedom or something along those lines. It like, I'm not dialing it up or anything. It was something along, I don't know if that was quoted verbatim, but it was something along like, please repress your soul's desire for freedom or something like that, because they're all locked in their houses. It's fucking chilling. And just listening to everyone wail. It's like, not like just anger, like roaring, like, fuck. Like, it's really like dystopian. It's really bizarre. But like watching that, you know, if you bring this up to someone that's like on left wing or something, again, they'll be like, that's not fucking happening. Or at the very least, they'll be like, that can't happen here. And it already did. Yeah. We already gone through it. And like, food shortages and whatnot, we've already gone through that. Because they've been talking that the big F word's been floating around, famine. They've already talked about that. And I've heard people say like, I don't think that'll happen here, which is a unique perspective because not even 2 years ago, we had a chicken shortage.
Oh yeah,
and we're actually having it again. There's another egg shortage because there was a disease or something going around, which were infecting eggs and chickens. So they had to like basically murder a shit ton of these chickens and just chuck them because they couldn't have them, couldn't use them. So we had a shortage then. And when you'd go to the store, how much were wings back then? Wings were disgusting, the price. You go to stores, there would be a shortage of all chicken.
Yeah, you couldn't find them.
Yeah. We've already gone through it. Granted, it was just chickens, but not actually at the same time. They had the beef thing right about the same time.
Then there was some
this is right after the initial lockdown. Like, because there was that mixed with it too, because you couldn't ship anything.
Yeah.
And then there was also the shipping crisis, which caused like different, like that was more spotted throughout the United States. Not so much here, but in bigger cities and stuff, they had the shipping crisis last fall, where we did a whole episode on that, explaining that, where there was no chain. There was the shipping chain throughout the United States, throughout the world, was just basically brought to a stifling halt. So saying that, that can't happen here, it's like, it fucking already did in the last 2 years.
On a very low level degree, yes, compared to what some people have been going through. But you can't deny it. You're right. It did happen.
Yeah. The only difference is the United States, I guess, mitigated it a little better and kind of dealt with it. Yeah. Or at least the people in the United States, or, how many preppers in the United States?
Oh, yeah, plenty.
I mean, we're here are pseudo preppers. Down in the basement, we got shit. Like, but that's just because I fucking read shit like this, and when I'm at work, I'm like, So I'll stop at the store and pick up an extra 5 or 6 cans of this or that, and just kind of store it away every now and again.
Good friends of mine, family friends, they used to see their basement. It's like a grocery store.
Yeah.
And they have a cycling method where they go down, check the dates. Oh, this is getting close. Move it to the front of the shelf.
Yeah, they just bring it up and bring it upstairs or something.
And cycle it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what you're supposed to do.
But they've got easily a year supply.
I think if you can at least have a month, I think at least a month, you'd be all right.
I'm going to start a GoFundMe for reloading the equipment.
So what we're going to actually use our GoFundMe for?
No. I'm going to get my pilot's license still.
So I can fly away. In my rocket ship.
The hell was that? It was the sound of a rocket.
Ooh. Yeah, so it's an inside joke. So
20-year-old inside joke.
Yeah. famine is being discussed. They said would hit by summer or fall if it actually went fully through.
Yeah.
And the egg shortages started to appear.
Whatever. They make
Biden's
plant eggs now.
Biden's brought it up. We eat genetically engineered beef. Or cloned, not genetically engineered, cloned. We eat cloned beef. Yeah. I didn't think it was real either. This is actually an Alex Jones thing he brought up. And then he brought it up. I think it was on Tim Pool he brought it up. And Tim Pool, they're all like, get the fuck out of here. And they looked it up. And sure enough, right in public record, there's a percentage of our beef that's cloned.
Okay. Still tastes the same.
No, it doesn't. Farm fresh. That's what we have.
I just want it shot in the head or sodomized before
It's kind of
death. That's all I care
irony
about. Wait,
because
what?
of blood in it, but... Oh, the beef. Yes. Boy, this is awkward.
How do you prep your beef again?
Semen.
Wait, what?
Salt.
Salt. Yeah, that's right. I heard the recipe wrong.
Here's a question. How would cities react to famine as compared to rural areas like this? Even an area like this would be in question.
An area like this, I think, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Think about it like an anthill.
Someone's going to pull molten metal down
At the center of the colony, you have the most hecticness.
Mm.
The queen dies. Everything collapses on the inside. Everybody on the outer side, out of the tunnels, on the outer tunnels, hey, what's going on? Whoop, kind of crazy. Whoop, kind of crazy. Whoop.
So those are the people that live in the mountains.
Those are the people that live in the rural country areas like we do.
Right.
People that live in the city, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be a lot of craziness. They're going to scatter. And what's going to be left is the people that either took what they wanted or were able to buy what they wanted. The blue collar man, the white collar man. No, what's blue collar supposed to be?
Blue collar is us.
Are we blue collar? Are you sure we'll be blue collar?
Mm-hmm. I don't have any blue T-shirts.
With our numbers, I think we're lower class.
Oh, we are very much. Do you make 120,000 a year? Yeah.
So that's what blue collar is. I thought 120 a year.
No, white collar.
White collar is what,
Upper.
120. Upper class.
Blue collar. Well, all right. If you want to go by that, then we're very much just poor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're going to be the ones leaving the city, coming to areas like this where there's people like us that have plenty of reasons why not to step foot on my
It's going to
property.
be the zombie apocalypse without zombies.
I don't think it's good.
But that's where firearms comes in. And people in the cities and shit, they can't have all that.
Hope they can't.
So they're going to be going like with baseball bats and sticks and illegal firearms.
Oh yeah. How'd that work out for you? I still got my bat. You ain't got shit now. I'm not saying I'm shooting people.
But I don't condone that.
Oh well, maybe I won't. You'll see a not a mass hysteria. I think you'll see
famine.
I think you'll see
I
a general
beg to differ.
chaos.
I think for famine, you would see this. I think everything would be uprooted, especially in urban areas, city.
I think you're gonna see, what was it? The riot. Where was that? Portland? No,
Or yeah,
it was
the 2020.
Seattle.
Yeah,
Yeah, that area where they became their own, no police, whatever.
Chop or Chaz or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
they're called.
It's gonna be that where you're gonna see a lot of looting, a lot of rioting.
That's what I mean. It's gonna be
the
like
dust will settle.
I think so. Yeah, of course. The dust always settles. If it doesn't, then it's Mad Max territory, and that's something way beyond just a famine.
I'm going. Where's the Thunderdome?
Use your GoFundMe
Where's the Thunderdome?
pilot's license to fly down to New York. Let's at least fly over it and see what it looks like. It's so smoky.
What's this?
That's a Pop-Tart.
Look, they're fighting over it.
$20 on the one with the black shirt.
That's fucked up. Oh wait, I'm gonna win.
It's funny.
Black shirts rule.
All right, we'll play a game. We'll drop something in the middle of the city, and then it's like, all right, now what you have to do is you have to go into the city and retrieve it and come back.
Oh,
Was it Escape from New York?
Yes. No, both of them, yeah. Escape from New York and Escape from LA.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think there'd be some kind of dystopian breakdown.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then the military, law enforcement, military will come in and, of course, know, Blue Lives Matter will become a thing again after that because people will say they were shot against their will.
How do you think the left would spin that?
How
would that be the right's fault? Like, let's call it right now.
Okay.
In the extreme situation, because it would be Republicans' fault.
Oh yeah,
definitely be Republican conservative. Those fuckers. Look, we have no food because insert reason.
They would find a way. If I had to put a reason, like gun to my head, this is going to be the last thing I can say before they pull the trigger. The conservatives, the Republicans, the liberals, nationalists, whatever they are, conservatives, they didn't follow the rules. They didn't pay the taxes. They didn't adhere to the mandates. They didn't go by the guidelines. They didn't support, you can't expect somebody who was a part of the woke movement, Black Lives Matter, transgender community, far left, whatever, Democrat. You can't expect somebody to feel comfortable who's a full-blooded Democrat to help somebody who's a Republican, because Republicans are known for dirty tactics. And look at the march on Capitol Hill. The people that died. That's what the Republicans are about. We don't expect the Democrats to feel the need to help the Republicans, because Republicans are nothing but ignorant people. So the ignorance that people are suffering from is what caused them to behave like that.
It's funny you say it like that, because one, I think that's something they wouldn't give you a clear answer. They were just like talking points. They chuck talking points at you.
Oh yeah,
mask, COVID, mandates, racism, sexism, and then just kind of put filler words in between, and then have no actual reason or explanation to it. That's something they would do, because that's something they usually do.
But you got to also remember, the left is going to spin it as, well, the right uses extreme tactics. Mm-hmm. And what is mass hysteria? What is rioting in the streets? What was the march on Capitol Hill? Extreme tactics. That's not a left tactic. And that's only a right tactic.
Yeah. We just try to defeat it. We try to combat it by telling you information the exact same way that we're saying that they're doing it, but what have you?
That'll probably, how much you want to bet that would be a talking point. Left doesn't use extreme tactics. I think only the right does.
A safe bet, because that's basically what they do, how they do things now.
I had a family member, and I don't know if he watches these or not. Probably doesn't. I don't give a shit. He's far left. He actually had the nerve to tell me, well, you do realize every dirty politician has always been right-winged. Has always been a right politician. There's never been a left dirty politician.
Now, I will say this about 85% of Republicans are fucking skeezy and scuzzy. Like, their Republicans are, other than their core conservative beliefs and running points, they're no different than the left.
Oh, yeah, no.
No fucking different.
But that's just it. He literally had the ignorance to believe and say with full conviction, there's never been a dirty politician from the left.
Yeah. And wow.
There's been dirty politicians.
You don't have to look at the
on
past. You don't have to look at like 100 years in the past. All you have to do is watch the news in the last 2 years. 2 years, and especially now, because a lot of things are starting to come to light. You brought up January 6th, which I thought was interesting, because you see now a lot of people in the January 6th trials are being exonerated.
Yeah, I did hear
because
about that.
they were let in. Which now, if you said that right after January 6th and you watch the videos and be like, there's fucking police officers waving them in, everybody on the fucking left would be like, you fucking Nazi, you neo-Nazi, you white nationalist, which their definition of white nationalist is fucking bizarre. And by that, it's literal. Is it, are you a nationalist? Yes. Are you white? Yes. You're a white nationalist. Like, that's not how it fucking works. Like, no.
In actuality, not literally, remember?
Yeah.
Literal is no longer literal. It's actuality.
No, literal is in the literal sense, I literally did this. It means in the literal sense, it actually happened. Or the second was what? Figurative. Which is the fucking opposite of literally. Yeah, so there you go. There's a left-wing logic right there. That's the whole rhetoric of the left wing. So going back January 6th, now a lot of them are being exonerated. They were waived in. So there are some, obviously, that broke in and fucking broke the law, and they should be prosecuted.
Yes.
That's something different.
100%
But the ones
agree.
that are, the police are opening barricades and opening doors, be like, come on in, and then they're prosecuted. Doesn't anybody see that as fucking fishy? Not even fishy, just like, no. It's like, you're breaking the law of like, how?
Here's a little fun fact. Your welcome mat on your doorstep, you don't have one, actually.
Mm-hmm. There's one.
What's it say?
It's backwards. It was backwards. I just recently fixed it.
What's it say?
It says welcome, and then the other one says goodbye.
There have been cases, I will actually fact check it for the states. I forgot what states it was. There have been cases
where they say, but... Yeah.
For police have been able to forcibly enter the home on the basis that you have a mat that says welcome.
See, and that's why I knew I should have left it the way it was, because what I was looking at it when I was doing yard work last week, and the welcome was facing the house leaving. So basically, it's like
you are welcome to leave.
You walk up and you're like, "Fuck off, go away." It said goodbye as soon as you walk up to the door. So you're telling me after this show I got to turn it back around?
Yeah. Dead serious. We have a generic one. It's just like a country setting. Mm-hmm. It's like a picture. There's no words, and it's got a black border.
But that's a welcoming.
But it does not physically say welcome or come on in or welcome to our home. There's no words.
I'm gonna get one that says stand right here, but you can't come in.
I would, because I will find out the states.
Yeah, do that.
And I will put them up on the note for you to see and look in and find the cases where police have been able to force their way into a home and not be held accountable for it because they're literally in the body. And it's funny because the one I remember reading, the police officer literally does this. You see, he's at the door and the camera's like this. Then all of a sudden, you see... like the body, like the guy has to lean over.
Oh, so he showed the thing just to cover his own ass.
He kind of did this number. He's like, it almost.
But
it was almost this effect. It was like
his body cam was.
He adjusted. He knelt down to adjust something. Full body cam footage on the thing. You hear something rattle. Stands up. Walks in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, going back, that's like how the left would spin it.
Oh yeah.
Which makes sense. It's more bullshit that the left like to spin, and this is again an attack on the left, sort of. But that's just because it's who is in power, and I don't know how many times I've said that when we do these things.
Oh yeah,
because it just seems like we're two extreme right wing people sitting here and be like, the left.
Though, you could say that yes, by general observation, you could see. I could see where people get that impression, but I've always been very neutral on that, in the sense of, like I said before. There are plenty of left. There are plenty of right dirty politicians. Yeah. The right is no better than the left. When it comes to history, when you look at it, there have been plenty. I am neither left nor right.
JFK was left. He was Democrat.
He was a great fucking president.
For the 6 minutes he was in there.
Pressure really got to him. He kind of...
He let it get to his head.
He let his...
It's too soon? I don't know. Oh boy!
I heard of the job giving you headaches, but boy, he really made it a point to let us know. Quick, do the jingle! Do the jingle! You ever see that picture?
No.
It shows what was his wife's name? Mrs. Kennedy, Jackie.
Yeah,
Jackie Kennedy. It shows the scene where she's climbing over the back of the car, and you see JFK like this, and State Farm's. It shows her. She's like this.
Oh my God.
Quick, do the jingle. Do the jingle. So sad. So sad. Like a good name for Steve Harvey's name.
It's one of those things that's like, should we use this as a commercial? And someone sitting there is like, are you out of your fucking mind? Why'd you even film it?
That's fucked up. No, I'm neither left nor right. I will point out the obvious fault in whatever's going on. That's what I am.
I'm more right-leaning, but I guess I'm centrist. There's classic libertarian, I think, is great. The government out of my fucking pocket and out of the workplace. Big government is just shit. Like 1984, Big Brother's watching. Like, get that bullshit out of here. And that's very left-wing. Left-wing is always... Historically, libertarians have always been anti-establishment and anti-big pharma, big business, big government. And conservatives, or not so much conservatives, but moreover, Republicans have always been the big business thing. Back in, again, how many times have you said it? In the 2000s with Bush and the oil industry.
Oh, yeah.
That was Republican thing. That was a classic thing. Somewhere in the last 3-4 years, the whole script has been turned upside down. And, oh boy, there was... That's what we should do. Just to kind of counteract this left-right thing, we should do one episode where we just talk about the Bush administration.
Bushisms, remember that shit?
Oh, yeah, that's great, too. That could be a whole segment in itself.
God.
The natural gas is hemispheric. I like to call it hemispheric in nature because it's a product we can find in our own backyards. Like, what the fuck? Like
this is the guy we have leading our country.
That's a whole episode in and of itself. Oh, you know what would be great if we had George Bush and Biden right now as president, vice president. I mean, it's left and right wing, whatever, but just the things that would come out of like that whole was like, wow, this is fit. This is gold. True, I'm a shower to pressure and.
Did I send you that one TikTok? You gotta watch a TikTok really quick.
Right now?
Yeah, really fast. I just want to hear your reaction.
Oh boy. Talking about Biden, I got the whole Hunter Biden laptop story here, and what was alleged and allegated.
Bro, have you ever fucked a girl with a stutter? No, can't say that. Oh, bro, it's great. You can finish before she gets over. Bro, have you ever...
Oh my god. So that's right up with the whole JFK joke. So I mean, why not? We're going all the way here. So
welcome to band number 3.
That really makes us look good. We're gonna get a pilot's license and we're whatever.
You ever have sex with a girl with a stutter? Oh, it's great. You can finish before she says no.
Jeez. So, I brought up
I'll see you in hell, bud.
Joe Biden before the whole Joe Biden
the kids
Bush
they
Jr.
rubbed the hair on my legs.
I got hairy legs. Come on, man.
And yeah, Bush.
The Corn Pop was a bad dude.
That was the Bush one. That was about
which one?
Oh God! It was when Operation Endure Freedom first started. He said something along the lines of, and we go over there and we're not gonna make them do it willingly. We're gonna make them do it through democracy and get them to see. Or it's like, basically, he said we're not gonna force them to do anything that we won't force them to do. I was like, wait. I was in high school. I remember. I go, wait, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did he? We're not going to force them to do anything that we won't force them to do?
Well, I guess that makes sense. Strangely.
We're not going to make you eat your vegetables because we're forcing you not to eat your vegetables.
How many drugs does one have to take to be on the same mental level?
He did smoke crack once in high school or college. Remember that?
Once? Or was it like my one time with ganja? It's like I tried it once for like 3.5 years. That was... speaking of crack, again, Hunter Biden, so it's a good segue.
Oh, yeah.
The laptop thing. We mentioned that before, and I like really gave you a bridge version. Like, I got the whole thing, but this is going with media lies. There was a laptop left in a Delaware repair shop revealing Joe Biden's connection with Ukraine deals. It was pegged as Russian disinformation when it all came out back in 2016 or whatever it was, 2017.
Yeah.
The alleged smoking gun email that is being talked about, or was being talked about, was the Post. This is talking about the New York Post, I think. Claims that the computer in question shows Hunter Biden setting up a meeting between his father and a Ukrainian energy firm executive. Hunter Biden was paid by this firm. which I knew. I think he was on the board of this firm, this energy firm. The story alleged that Hunter Biden introduced his father, then Vice President Joe Biden, to a top executive at the Ukrainian energy firm less than a year before the elder Biden pressured government officials in Ukraine into firing a prosecutor who was investigating the company. According to the emails obtained by the Post, the prosecutor in question was Viktor Shokin, who was planning an investigation or to investigate Burisma and Biden to pressure and Biden put pressure on Ukraine to fire him, or the U.S. aid to the country would be withheld, the Post reported. Quote, "Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and giving me the opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really an honor and pleasure," the email reported from Vadim Pasasky, and found on the mysterious laptop in question. The Post also alleged that the laptop contains sexually explicit photos. An FBI spokesperson told the Post, "My officer can neither confirm nor deny the existence of an investigation." The Burisma board, can deny the existence of an investigation. I guess the board paid Hunter $50,000 a month. The Biden campaign has denied that there was a meeting between Joe Biden and the energy executive.
But the email's there.
Yeah.
Is it true, though?
Well, it's come out to be true.
Oh, that email.
That's what's come out in the last, month or two? Or month and a half?
Let me make sure I understand what you're saying correctly. They found an email.
Mm-hmm.
They've substantiated its validity. It is a real email.
Yes.
That came from whoever to Biden, Hunter Biden, or from Hunter Biden to whoever.
They were talking, yeah.
Okay. And now within this email, there is explicit evidence that shows...
links Joe Biden to this Ukrainian energy firm, pressuring them to fire someone who is going to investigate the energy firm, or members of the energy firm, which would have connected them to political persuasion from the U.S. government and the Ukrainian business, basically.
Yeah, okay. And then, as well, there's sexually explicit evidence.
Yeah, which I think that is with Hunter Biden, but Hunter Biden's been a fucking nut. Hopped up on drugs and shit. He has a crack, I think it was crack problem.
So there's...
Or meth. Maybe it was
evidence
meth.
of sexual explicitness involving Hunter Biden.
I don't know. That I don't know. That I didn't see in the article. Not this one anyway. But this was more talking about the email, talking about the actual pressuring of.
I mean,
I did hear something about Hunter Biden and his fetishes, but that could be hearsay. I haven't
heard anything. Now, let me say this first and foremost. Let's say it's legit.
Mm.
He's got some kid fetish, some bondage fetish, some whatever. Some smut fetishes or whatever, and there is something illegal in there. I could support Biden's decision to denounce him. Write him off. Yeah. Hey, look, I did not know this about my son. I want nothing to do with it. I want him to be held to full justice of the court within the courts of law, whatever. All I can do is be your president.
Well, that's fine.
I could see him doing, if he did that, I would have some respect for the guy. But if he goes in and says, no, my son never did nothing wrong, and because the hair on my legs, and I used to drive truck, and
he said multiple times, he still says that that's not real.
That's a father. That's a father trying to defend his son.
It's true, but if we're just talking about this sexually explicit photos, that's one thing. But the emails are talking about Biden's business dealings with Ukraine. That's where all the scrutiny is behind.
I'll touch on that in a second.
The other thing is just you find this big what the fuck, and then there's these naked pictures. What the fuck? What is this? But yeah, that's just a side thing that kind of came out of it too.
Well, that's what I was saying. I'll touch on that in a second. But if Biden wanted to have any shred of hope of saving whatever he has left of a presidency, it would be in his best interest to, if it came out to be true, look, hold my son to the full accountable level with the law.
Listen, man, he's got hairy legs too. He just doesn't know what he's doing.
For example,
bad a gaff car. You know?
I worked with a gentleman who was involved. His son was involved with a double homicide, and when it first happened, he was very. I know my son. I love my son. He's not him. But when the son admitted it, he goes, "Look, my son fucked up. That's all I could say. I can't defend him any more than that. He's going to serve his time. He's going to go to jail for life. I will always love my son, but he messed up, and he has to answer for it. That's all I can do."
Do you think he would pull that? A politician?
If he was smart, he would.
I really don't think he would. Only because now this is like making a stretch in like two different scenarios that are different.
Yeah.
But Jussie Smollett. Like everything was all evidence is vastly against him, and he says, "I didn't do it." And there's still people that fucking believe he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he would be that kind of like great father to be like, he fucked up. I think if it ever came out that a lot of this was true and nothing was pinned on Joe Biden and it was all on Hunter, I think Hunter would disappear from all conversation. Like he would just kind of flutter and float away.
But with the way the media is now, you think they would let that happen?
Yes. Left-wing media is strong right now.
Do you mean to tell me they don't allow
alternative media? Like basically what we do is just report on shit, or just not report, but just commentate on shit. But a lot of alternative independent media would not let it go away.
Right.
And that is a growing thing right now. But the left wing, the mainstream establishment media, like CNN and ABC and all these, it would disappear. You'd never hear about them again.
But you see, you can't fill a room with just left-wing media anymore.
Oh, they try.
But they'll get right in there.
You know what happens though? And this is this week I heard it. Joe Biden had that small press conference this week. And after he was done talking, you could hear independent or right-wing reporters shouting their questions like they always do. And the handlers or whoever, the PR reps that was standing around for Biden was screaming at them, "All right, thank you, no questions, thank you for coming in." Like as they're asking all these questions, and Biden just like kind of wandering out doing his thing, leaving. They were shoving him out, not letting him get any kind of question, and just talking over him and just stifling anything. And that's what they do. Like if you have a question, legitimate or just cutting edge or whatever, they're just like, ignore it, moving on. So in that aspect, no, I really don't think that they would I don't think they would keep it around. Not legacy media.
They wouldn't want it to be kept around, but with the country the way it is,
not while he's in office. I think as soon as Biden got out, which is really, I don't even think Kamala Harris, I honestly don't know. Biden is not fit to run.
No, he's not.
Biden
is not fit.
Kamala Harris is not their next choice. Democrats couldn't be. She's hated more than Biden is. Like I almost feel bad for Biden. Like I feel it looks like an old man that obviously does not have the cognitive function he used to when he was in politics. He used to be sharp and edgy, and he's just not that anymore. Not even close. And Kamala Harris is just fucking a cackling hyena, and she's about as fucking dumb as one too. Like she really is. and your other option of any kind of notoriety is Hillary Clinton, and the fucking nation hates Hillary. So then your next question is like, who it AOC? Like who's the next but she's way fucking young. Like her as president, and she's a left-wing darling.
This is bring back Trump.
For all the progressive movements, like it's her. But
let's bring back Trump.
Anything after that, I don't even know if that's the right answer though, because I think if you bring Trump back
Bruce
in,
Campbell,
fucking A.
I would so fuck get behind him.
Yeah,
Bruce for president.
Full of boomstick. I think
we don't agree with your policy. Do you agree with this policy? Shop smart. Shop as smart.
I think the only thing that would really happen as far as Republicans go is they would, if Trump runs again, which you almost know he's going to.
Oh, yeah.
I think DeSantis would have to run as his vice president. Trump get his second term. It's just saying that he won. Trump would get his second term. Vice President DeSantis. After that, DeSantis runs as president for his 2 terms. And I think unless they fuck it up, I think there's a possibility that you would actually see 3 Republican not campaigns. You'd have 3 Republican administrations in a row, or like terms, because things are so fucked right now. And finally, shit hit the fan so much over the last year, especially, and 2 years, like from the riots all the way up to now, it's mostly peaceful protests. And then, but
Is
then
that what they were called?
And then compared to 2 things, compared to January 6th, and now things, like I said, are coming out with that, and be like, well, they were let in. But if you said that before, you were fucking crazy and, an anarchist. And then even further than that was the Ottawa trucker.
Yep.
And that was horrible. And they said they were destroying this and that. But I watched a lot of that shit. We were talking about it for weeks on end. I didn't see really anything like that.
No.
But that was being reported. They're honking their horn and it's destructive. Like, what the fuck happened a year and a half prior to that, or whatever it was, when they were destroying the West Coast and Chicago? And that was mostly peaceful. Bullshit. Get out of here.
Okay. Come on, we're sheeple too. We gotta do what we're told.
I don't think... I don't even remember how I got in that fucking tangent. That's what happens. I get going.
I made a joke about Trump being president. In all honesty, this country needs a fucking enema. This
town needs an enema. Joker for president. Jack Nicholson Joker.
Yes.
That's probably a terrible idea.
Really?
He's going to gas us all. Look at the end of the movie. He was killing the entire Gotham City. What do you mean, really?
I think Thanos for president.
He made sense. He was logical.
Extreme, but logical.
Yeah. But random, fair.
Bill Gates for president.
Fuck no. Are you kidding me? You might as well just go for Klaus Schwab. The fucking Bond villain 2.0. Both of them. It's like that's literally between Gates and Schwab. That's a Bond movie, part 1 and part 2.
I want Dr. No for president.
That's Klaus Schwab.
Blofeld. Mr. Silver. You did that one.
Another thing.
Jaws. I want him.
God.
From Moonraker. He should be president.
I just want a Moonraker rifle.
So do I.
From 007, GoldenEye, N64.
Yes.
It's awesome. COVID narratives is another one.
Did you hear about Oddjob?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there was sexual assault charges or something like that. He has a sexual registry pass or some shit. Comes to find out he was a pedophile, I think, is what I heard.
During the time of the filming?
I don't know. I heard about it, and it was
but he's like 5'2". He just looks like a kid. Of course he's going to do that. And he probably chucked his hat at him. Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
No, I just got thinking about that. I had heard a whisper of it, and that was it.
Was Oddjob whispering in your ear? By the way. Huh?
What was that, little guy?
Do you want a lollipop?
Oh, shit.
COVID narratives was another one that was a huge agenda push lie. A lot of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. First off was the one when you brought up, well, what if it came from the lab in Wuhan that was actually working with coronavirus? If you said that in the beginning of the pandemic,
oh, you were fucking straight conspiracy.
You were Alex Jones, David Icke, right up there on that mountaintop of conspiracy theorists.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And then months later, they're like, well, it's feasible.
Well, think about it this way. Media lies. The whole COVID narrative. In the beginning, all this, they had science that backed up the mask, backed up this, the dispersion methods, et cetera, et cetera. And if you said masks didn't work, or it was another variant of the flu, or et cetera, you were conspiracy theory, you were a nut job. And now, over the whole pandemic, lifespan of this pandemic, the science has proven that the vaccine doesn't work, but it may help. So they kind of tweaked the dial.
Oh, yeah.
Every little niche, little nick, to now where it's, well, the science was always there. We just have to do these tactics to make it get to that point.
Well, no, they would say, well, the science changes, because science changes. Like, well, it changes when you want it to. Because when all this shit was coming out, everyone was on board with all the stuff they were saying, including me. I'm like, no one fucking knew what was going on. Yeah. But then there were these, like, rogue scientists, we'll call them, for lack of a better term, that would pop up and be like, well, maybe, but this part doesn't really make sense. And then they'd have their own studies. And then more and more of these people would pop up.
Yep.
And it was like herpes. It just kind of like everywhere.
It started kicking up light bulbs.
Yeah, and then a lot of people, including myself, would start listening to these other like things and be like, maybe, what do they have to say? And even if you said, what are they saying? I was like, I just want to hear what they're saying. A perfect example is Joe Rogan. He was just having conversations, and wow, was he attacked.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just because he was having conversations. You're giving him a platform to spread misinformation and disinformation. This is when the whole conspiracy theory, misinformation, disinformation thing really took off.
Yep. Because
now it's like, well, yeah, there's even a point where it was Russian propaganda. I'm like, what the fuck does Russia have to do with anything of this? Like, you're just mixing fucking your talking points together, like making a new elixir. Here's something new.
Flask of wondrous physique.
Yes. What are your two orbs? Russian disinformation and
what was the dewormer?
Ivermectin. Ah, look, it's evil. But they were like constantly doing that, and they would just latch on to whatever they could latch on to, like, turn it into this negative talking point.
Oh yeah,
with the ivermectin. It's like, look, it's a horse dewormer. I'm like, ivermectin's been out for fucking 40 plus years for people.
Yeah,
for people. It won the Nobel. The guy that I don't want to say invented it,
utilized it
for people, won a Nobel Peace Prize for it. I think it was Nobel Peace Prize. But because it's like, well, it's also in horse dewormer, so that's what they pegged it as. He's taking horse dewormer. Like, what the fuck are you? And you know exactly what they were doing. They were making that talking point to make it so people that were just fucking dumb.
Anderson Cooper. I said Alice Cooper earlier.
Oh. People that were just dumb. And I think I understood what you were saying.
Yeah. I just realized, like, neither of us caught that.
People that were dumb would just take horse dewormer and then overdose and die from it and be like, look what Joe Rogan is doing.
Yeah.
So that's how they spun it. So this is going back in with the whole treatment of COVID. That was a big lie that was pushed and everything. It's like the only way, they wouldn't have a treatment method. They would only have a preventative method. And the only preventative method was a vaccine.
Yep.
They would never talk about treatments. What can you do once you get it? What do you do? Go home, sleep it off. And that was it.
Yep.
And mind you, I still am not vaccinated.
Neither
and I've gotten it twice.
Oh. Well, he doesn't mind if this happens.
Oh, boy. Speaking of vaccines, and Pfizer specifically, this was brought to my attention.
Pfizer.
And this is kind of veering off the COVID thing.
That's fine.
Will Smith, Chris Rock, the slap. Okay?
Okay. I'm really curious as to how this is segueing now.
Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia, right? Mm-hmm. That's why she has hair loss or something.
Yep.
Okay. So, all right, follow me. The Oscars happen. The whole spiel with Will Smith and the slap and Chris Rock happen. After that, the media just picks up this frenzy, bringing alopecia awareness. It's like, oh, everyone's got to talk about alopecia. And it's like this big push and like, be sensitive toward these people. And it's where we got to bring, well, I don't know what color ribbon we're going to use for this one, but we'll find one. So there's that whole spiel. Shortly after this push for awareness, Pfizer comes out with a drug for alopecia. Who sponsored the Oscars? Pfizer.
I'm not even going to dramatically turn to the camera because I called it.
That was brought to my attention.
I called it. What did I tell you?
And
2 more years from now, whoa, yeah, it was a gag. You know, we were trying to brighten up. You know, it was a boring thing. Or fucking 10 years from now, someone will, yeah, man, it was really staged. Huh. Fine. Now,
but you know, I wouldn't even, and you'd think by now I would have thought better of it, but I wouldn't even have put that on it. I figured stage because the Oscars fucking the last few years have just done abysmal in ratings. And, you know, whatever, they've staged something like
And
that. All right, fine, that
Oscars-
makes sense. But a little bit of digging and come to find out, oh, well, it goes right on par with everything else we've talked about in the last 6 months. So I was like, well, fucking,
Charlie's not so crazy now, is he?
well,
Clinically. We're not talking clinical. Oh, you have an extra auxiliary cord for boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
auxiliary cord, maybe? I'd have to, it's depending on the connection. A couple last things.
Yeah.
Washington Post doxes the creator of Libs of TikTok. You know how Libs of TikTok on
Oh, you libs.
Libs, yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
On Twitter. Mm-hmm. All right, so you know you've seen it before, right?
Yeah.
And the fucking crazy shit.
Entertaining to say the least.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about Libs is they don't even make a joke out of it. Literally the guy that run Libs at TikTok takes tweets and posts from extreme left and just reposts it. Doesn't say anything, and it's so fucking crazy that the community just looks at it and just, it's a laughing stock. Because they do that, the Libs of TikTok is evil and his channel gets banned. All right, so that's Twitter. The Washington Post doxed the owner or the creator of Libs of TikTok, and then claimed we didn't do that. Again, going what we were talking about earlier, that wasn't us. We're
not pushing you.
What their defense is you know what I mean by doxing, right?
No, I'm a little
Okay,
confused.
doxing is when, let's say, we have a beef online. We don't know each other. And then I post, this is your phone number, your address, this is where he lives. That's a big no-no. Mm-hmm. Basically, this is kind of the same lines of swatting.
Yeah.
That's how you could do that, too. I mean, swatting, it wouldn't be promoting it for everybody else, but that would put everyone on my side, be like, this is where he is, let's fucking call him, spam, whatever, send death threats. That's doxing. The Washington Post, a journalist, this is how they're getting around what they're doing. They put up a thing, and I don't know the context of the whole post, but they put a link, or no, they didn't link it. What they did is said, if you want this person's information, search this at this place, and you can find his street address, you know, his actual name, this and that. But then they took the post down like right after.
Too late.
Yeah,
If
but
it's
it's
up
too
there
late.
for a minute.
Yeah, how many people are going to find it?
Oh, hell yeah.
So they dox them. But then they brought it, there's been reporters have been like, you know, do you have any comment on this? It's like, how come you doxed them? It's like, we didn't dox them. It's like, but you did this. It's like, well, that's not doxing because we didn't actually put up the information. But you put where is verbatim
You literally
where to
pointed
find
the
it.
arrow how to find it.
And that's not like I'm not writing it, but I'm pointing at what it is. Like, oh, look, everyone. Like I think that's doxing.
Oh,
I
that
think
is.
that's, and I think they knew what they were doing. If not, how the fuck do you get? Like,
100%.
you're a
that's doxing.
journalist. How do you not even for a second fathom? Like, maybe I shouldn't do this because my credibility outside of the Post and this like niche of fans or what have you is going to be like, wow, don't hire that person because that's a lot of bad publicity. It's going to come on us. But yeah, so
That's fucked up.
yeah.
That's fucked up.
But then, like I said, they're just going, I didn't do that. It's like, but the post is right here. I screenshot it, which was brought to their attention. So I screenshot it right here. And they look at it and be like, no, it wasn't me. That's like a 7-year-old defense. I didn't do it. It's like, dude.
Must have called me on the counter.
I got
it wasn't
you.
me.
Yeah.
Saw me banging on the sofa. It wasn't me.
I got it right here.
Screenshots here on my computer. That wasn't me. Delete it. It's all over.
One last thing. for just whatever.
Yeah.
New Jersey, there was in an all-female prison, 2 inmates got pregnant right after a trans or 2 trans inmates got put in. So I think the lesson in that little segment right there is,
You want to get laid?
if you're a male and you get in trouble, just be a female.
You get unlimited conjugal visits.
Yeah.
Against your will, maybe even.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that blanket party? No! No! Please stop! A little left. Okay. Please stop!
Help, no. Wait, where are you going? So,
There you go.
was-
There you go. Woke movement shit.
interesting episode. Yeah, see, that's what woke. So not only are they competing in sports, women's sports, and just crushing it, they're also getting in female prisons and crushing them.
Charlie Kirk.
They're pounding them. They're pounding them and
No, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro. I watched a bit with Ben Shapiro and a feminist, and it's funny because you could tell.
Which what? First, second, third, fourth, fifth wave? Which one?
I don't know. I don't
Fifth
know.
wave is basically where we're at right now.
But you could see like the moment she shut down. It's almost like a switch. Like dead serious, you could see like if it was a bright neon.
I think I know what you're talking.
It's like a probably early 20s brunette, a little more slender and such.
Oh no, wait, I'm thinking of
She's
Jordan
asking-
Peterson.
So she goes, she asked something along the lines of like why he doesn't support transgender women in sports in or whatever.
Shapiro?
Yeah. And he goes, well, it's cheating. She goes, what do you mean? He goes, well, what do you define as cheating? She goes, well, what's cheating? How is that cheating? He goes, what do you define as cheating? And she goes, I feel like, she literally says, I feel like I'm walking into a trap here. He goes, no. What's your definition of cheating? He goes, I'll answer. Let me give you my opinion. You tell me if you think I'm right or wrong. Is it cheating if a person with natural ability 10 times greater than that of his competitor competes against his or her competitor competes against somebody of no talent? Well, yeah. So genetically speaking, and he goes into the whole spiel about it. Well, how is that cheating? He goes, so finally he goes, let me ask you this. Do you think it's fair for a man who identifies as a woman who is naturally faster, naturally stronger, naturally this, that, to compete against someone at half their skill level? She goes, and that's the switch. You see, it's almost like she powers down. Like, I can't answer that. He goes, is it fair? I can't answer that. I'm going to end. No, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to end it there. She says it like 3 times. I'm going to end it here. She will not answer. And the whole crowd's cheering and clapping, and you could see it in her eyes. You could see that's the minute she realized, and it was at that moment he realized he fucked up. It was that. It was that moment. You could see it in her eyes, and I'm like,
You know what's interesting? Just thinking about it as you were explaining that. If that's not cheating, let's go with we'll just say the left. It's a blanket statement, but I don't know who's defending this. But anyone who defends that, like trans in women's sports, if they defend that, then I think all steroids in all sports should be legal. Because basically
Absolutely.
You're taking someone with a higher level of testosterone and physical ability and letting them compete against people that aren't doping. Well, then what's to stop another era of the late 90s with Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds? And Barry Bonds never did anything, but all of them.
that was good.
All of them.
That was good. Barry Bonds never did anything.
Yeah. What's to stop them from having another awesome 70 home run season?
Well, think about it this way. You know why? Let me ask you that. Let me hit that. Let me answer that question with a question. What have you been hearing about the transgender competition?
What do you mean?
In what dialogue have you heard it? What do you know of transgender competitors? What have you heard? Let me ask you that. Blanket statement, tell 3 things you can think of right now, just off the shot. Don't even think about it.
What have I heard? I know that the teammates have not spoken up until after the fact when they lose, that's kind of going against the grain from this whole thing, because then I'd say if you really had a problem with it, then you would speak up before there was any competition.
Well, let me ask you this.
But that was only one thing. I don't.
The swimmer. I want you to be as what's the word I'm thinking of? I want you to be as
It was at this point he knew he fucked up.
No direct context, no descriptive context. Name 3 headlines you could think of. The swimmer.
Oh, well, headlines, I don't know.
What can you think of like that?
I know that she competed with males and was in the 4 or 500 ranks.
Good enough. Go to the next one you can think of right now.
That's the one where the teammates spoke out against them after, or there's one teammate that spoke out against her after the fact because there was 16 spots on their team and she got bumped from the last one because he whatever was in it, and that's the only reason she spoke out, because she didn't make the team. And then after that, it's just like they're just crushing records and everyone's just pissed off.
Have you heard of any other athletes competing?
Well, there's what's her face? The one guy in MMA who is competing and crushed, like it looked like she was just gonna kill this woman. This is something that Rogan obviously would know. The name, I can't remember. I've heard the name a few times.
But the male fighter who identifies and is transgender
as a female was fighting females.
Okay, next headline. Can you think of anything?
Well, there's Caitlyn Jenner. I mean, that's the biggest one.
But
that was after sports.
But boom. What's the one common factor in all of those stories?
It's male becoming female.
Name one story of a female competing.
Well, we said that before.
A female becoming a male competing in male sports.
We said that before. It would be fine if you did it the opposite way, but the fact is,
but you can't.
Yeah, you can't, because it would still be unfair.
Now, hold on.
A blanket statement, because like I said back when I was in wrestling, there was that one ranked number 4 in the nation in a 170 pound weight class.
Yeah.
And one of our members of the team, who was a guy, had to face her, and our coach verbatim went up to him and went, "You're gonna lose. Just try not to make it look bad." And she was a beast, like a bull.
Here's my point, and this goes right, and you're gonna in a second, as soon as I bring it up. What did you just say about performance enhancing?
Steroids.
So,
let it all legal.
What is one thing a female has to take?
Testosterone.
Which, if a male right now takes testosterone boosters in an athletic sport, what is he doing?
Doping.
And it's illegal.
I know. That's what I just said.
Females will never be able to compete in a male sport as a transgender because they have to dope.
And here's the interesting thing too: when a male takes steroids, with exception, because there's like bodybuilders who take obscene amounts.
Yeah.
But we'll say baseball, they take X amount of steroids, which shows up in their urinalysis or blood test, whatever they do. When a female transitions, she does 10 times the amount of steroids that is normally in her body. What would happen if I took 10 times the amount of testosterone in me? It would be fucking unreal. I'd probably die from a heart attack. So, like what you're saying and what we've said before, you mean to tell me that a person, male, female, person, dopes and puts 10 times the amount of testosterone, and we'll just say maybe even takes estrogen blockers? Like they would have to, like the amount of testosterone would be just ungodly, and that would be for a female going to a male just to compete with males. Like you can't for a male turning to a female, they would take estrogen blockers, but that wouldn't get, unless they did. Was just removing the testicles, I think would remove testosterone, but there's still residual testosterone in them. I don't even know. Strangely, I think I saw this or heard it somewhere where it stays in your system for X amount of maybe years.
Yeah, years
after the fact. So there's still testosterone, maybe even past your prime when you stop competing in sports. So even if you're getting this surgery done to turn yourself into a quote unquote real boy or woman or whatever for this real woman, you're still fucking, you still have testosterone levels in your body that's just like not on par with women. And I mean a positive, or in this case negative, not on par. So it's just fucking not fair all around. And unless you're going to juice up like these women turning into men, but in the opposite direction, or letting these women juice up, it's like, fuck it, I got this guy girl coming in, I better start fucking jabbing needles into my ass.
That's what I'm saying. They cannot allow a woman to compete in a man's sport as she's transitioning because she has to dope.
Right.
She is straight up taking performance enhancing steroids.
And how they're strict in different countries. What, in China, you can't even have, there's a drug that they take for anxiety or Prozac. You can't have it.
Adderall is an ADD medication or something like that over here in America. There are certain sports you cannot have that
because it increases focus.
Exactly.
And you can, well, now we're talking, that's just focus. Now you're talking about going to juice up so I can fucking, the whole thing's just fuck.
It is.
But that's the problem, is like all these movements get started and it's almost like no one thinks beyond their initial, I just want to compete as a woman because I feel like a woman. Well, now you bring up all these issues which weren't thought about before until you get like reactively instead of proactive. You get to that point, be like, oh, well, what do we do about this? Well, there's no real clear answer because no matter what path you take, you're fucking putting someone else and somewhere else at an extreme disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're just letting them do something which is so detrimental to their health, it's just not worth it. Unless you're an extreme athlete. Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Bruce Campbell for president.
Yes.